Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is a SPD surrounded by decks installment about the moon. This tarot tag was started by Kay Chris. Go check her channel, I will link it below. A lot of other people are doing it, and I think it's a great tag just because you can learn quite a lot of new things and see how other people see the cards and how an archetype as the moon, for example, can vary from deck to deck. So traditional moon card in Tarot de Marseille looks like this. You always get the Luna, you have these two barking dogs, you've got the crustacean like a crab coming out of the water, and you've got two towers. You look at this card and you just think, fuck, what does it all mean? And it is an elusive card. So moon has this elusive quality about it. Nothing is quite as clear as during the daylight. It's a little bit ephemeral, it's cloaked, it's magical. In yin and yang philosophy, yin is always the receptive force and it's always black, it's the night, whereas yang is the sunny, solar, vital energy of masculine kind of is masculine part of our psyche, whereas the moon is the feminine part of our psyche. So when the card of the moon appears in the readings, context is everything, so we know that without a question we can talk for ages about everything on the card, but try to see the card not even symbolically but just literally. Something is coming out of the water. It might be a little bit scary to come out because you've got those two big dogs barking and it's night, it's dark, so it's a bit scary to come out, but you're already a little bit out of that water. The water can symbolize subconscious, can symbolize deep emotional stuff, so usually something is coming up. It's emotional, it's connected to emotions, and it can move you emotionally. So moon usually for me is a very emotional card. um, in traditional tarot, moon often symbolizes delusion or illusion. Just because during the night when you go out, you can, easily mistaken a rope for a snake and stuff like this. So nothing is as it seems. And I can get this side of the moon because it's true. From my own experience, it's true that sometimes I get scared of stuff or of a shadow or something that reminds me of something, but it's not. So in a way, moon like this is seen as illusion. You can be a little bit delusional when you have too much moon or when your moon is, let's say, reversed. But on the other hand, I found it always pretty surprising why moon card traditionally has such bad vibe. And I wrote a blog about it, but it's in Polish. But I really think that it's because the goddess was suppressed and the goddess retreated under the water. She retreated, like she jumped and retreated in the depths. And when she comes out, she can be scary. And it's like she becomes the dogs as well, or she becomes the towers. She can be everything. So in a way, the moon is also the power of subconscious that comes up and can really kind of move you or move things around you. The two dogs can symbolize our fear, can symbolize something that we're afraid of, some subconscious stuff, or even conscious in this regards, because here you can see them. Here they're a little bit more like visions or some subconscious fear that can, bark at you and scare you. And this beautiful Luna is kind of luring you out, it's trying to get your attention. And it's a fascinating card. So usually the energy in the reading when you get a moon card It's just, first of all, for me, it's not as it seems. Be aware of kind of seeing things clearly, because you might not. And then if it's an emotional reading, it can symbolize, of course, going deep into emotions, diving deep, and not being afraid to see yourself from the depths and from the dark side of the night. Sometimes the moon is a sad card, and that depends on the card. So here from Sakurai Bito Tarot, we can see this beautiful kind of moon goddess. She is blue, she's the night kind of thing, and she cries. We can see the tears, we can feel the sadness, and the moon, because I think of this receptive quality, can be very emotional, can be empathetic, can feel for not only for themselves but also for other people. And with moon, I think what's very important is healthy boundaries, and that's what the two towers may symbolize as well in some instances. So when you have to hold your emotions safe, and keep them safe. Here, for example, this beautiful moon card from the Gil Tarot. The little crustacean is already here. Moon can, in this respect, symbolize also a travel. It can be a physical travel, but it can also be a mental or emotional journey which you going through, some process of finding out who you are, what you're afraid of, where you keep yourself, small. There can be, moon is in astrology also at the bottom of your chart, so it's like the deepest part of you that you get also from your biology, so your biological karma, your family, not like your mother, father, but also your own family right now. So that can be stuff connected to all of this. And I love the silver kind of gray colors of this card. It's very atmospheric. Nigel Jackson's tarot, it's very similar. She looks a little bit like, the Luna looks a little bit like Kali. So it can be awakening also, when stuff from your subconscious comes and you allow it to come out in some kind of safe environment, you can get a wider and better understanding of yourself. Here the moon from Tabula Mundi Tarot, that's very complex card. And you look at it and again, what the fuck is going on? So there's a dreamlike quality to it. The moon can be very creative as well. It can be elusive, that you don't know what's going on. You're confused. You look at this one and you're confused, like, what is it? So that's the energy that often comes with the moon when you get to the point when you're just not sure what's happening. On the other side, the moon has the feminine power and the magic, the cycles, and as females, we can really connect to the moon through our periods, through our blood, through the magic of the night, and through the strength that comes from losing that blood, from going through the cycle of death and rebirth every month. So as women, this is a very powerful time for us. And to know your own cycle, it's really amazing. And you stand tall as a goddess in the moonlight. And you can use the energy of the moon, the signs it's in, the phases the moon is in, to create with this moon. So you create with the lunar energy and not against it or not with it. This is the moon from, so this was from Starchild Tarot. This is from the Vampire Tarot, but Robert M. Place. And I just love this card. Isn't it gorgeous? It's powerful. And to be able to use this receptive, creative, void-like energy to empower yourself as a feminine side of your psyche. So you don't have to be a woman to feel empowered. You can be a man and feel like empower your feminine side, your yin side. And this card, to me, it's full of magic, and it's the veiled card as well, so you cannot see what's behind her. So there is this obstruction of vision when the clarity, like with the sun, the clarity can be very bright and sharp, and you know what's going on. With the moon is the opposite. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on, and the lesson might be not to know but sometimes you just get a warning to be aware that what seems like this might not be like this. And this is the moon from Tarot de Sainte Croix, and I love this. It's like diving deep. And this is maybe a full moon. Here we have like a crescent moon. We have lotus. We have two columns that reminds us of the high priestess energy. Lotuses are very spiritual flowers, so there's this spiritual twist to it, and your ability and willingness to dive deep to the emotions where you find the full moon. And with the full moon you get the most of the clarity, and sometimes it can be very deep. So you've got to reach deep, connect to your emotions, and that might be enlightening for you. This is the moon from Tarot Noir. I just love the artwork of it. It's exactly the same as I showed you in the first card. This moon comes from Victoria Regina Tarot, and I just love the energy and atmosphere of it. There's the crustacean, so you know something is lurking out, but she's empowered, she's comfortable, she sits on the moon and she's ready to take it on, I think. Looks gorgeous. Another side of the moon is this biological karma, which I mentioned before, but also the past lives. Like this is the Osho Zen Tarot, and here we have like big cosmic hands that hold all the past lives which you had. So when this card comes up, it gets yet another twist, this karmic twist, this connection to through your biology, maybe through your lives that you lived before, to your ancestors, to your previous lives, to like the mind continuum kind of thing, which never stops. So it feels a little bit like an 8 as well, like the constant flow of energy. This moon is from Tarot Droga, so it's got all the natural, all the traditional elements, the crustacean, the water, the moon, barking dogs, towers. The moon from the Cecoli Tarot is gorgeous. And it's also this reflection, so the moon reflects the light of the sun, and its light, it's not so strong, so it won't like blind you with how the sun can do. So like when you have too much sun, your ego might be overgrown, or you really kind of fussy about your own persona and stuff like this. So with the moon, when you have too much moon, you can go the opposite way. You can have too little self-worth. You can feel maybe, you know, not good enough. There's a little bit of the victim mentality, and there's this kind of depressive, sulky sense to the energy of the moon. So that just reflects her, and here she looks kind of okay. I mean, nobody in Cecoli Tarot looks happy, but in this way she looks like a little bit more scary, and like those skulls without eyes, and yeah, it's a very moody card. And the moon from the Gaian Tarot, it's much more shamanic. So there's an owl which is connected to the night. There's a wolf, howling wolf. Howling wolf is also often connected to the herd. So it's got wolves love to live together. So there's communal feeling. There are the moon phases behind her, and she behaves in a way that she knows about the moon, and she's receptive to moon's energy. So it's a very receptive card, and she looks like she's praying or is being ready to receive As I said, this is a receptive energy, sensitive, intuitive. So during the moon card, when you pull a moon card, maybe base your decision more on your feeling and connect to your emotions rather than just pure intellect. But beware again of your ability to see. So you've got to practice awareness to use moon well. This is from the Druidcraft Tarot. This is a gorgeous depiction. The little crab, it's a bit scared here. No wonder. And the little rabbit, it's the moon dreamer. And that's a cute, sweeter side to the moon when the rabbit comes from, I think, Chinese culture. The rabbit is connected to the moon. Rabbits are quite fearful animals, so they're easily scared and they're very kind of jumpy. So that kind of fits the moon on the dealing with our fears, and this delusional kind of fears, often irrational fears. But also the rabbits are very fertile, so the moon side of the fertility and being a mother, the motherly side, when you create and create and create and renew yourself, die, create. And also I think the sensuality, the senses. So in this way, often a card of fertility, of pregnancy, of being a mother. This comes from the Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels, and I just love it for the moodiness. It's connected to Pisces, as you can see here, connected to blood, so to the periods, but also maybe to suffering, to moodiness. It's very kind of haunting image. And again, there's some distraction in the background, so that can be the feeling of emotional dissatisfaction or sadness. Another powerful side to the moon is the connection to the grandmothers, to the guides, to people and women who walked before us, and here the grandmother sprinkles some dream powder on the head of the sleeping woman, so she might be channeling through her dreams some messages from her guides, from the grandmothers. And the moon has this powerful side of the goddess of the moon to it. With the moon you can do magic, you can empower your intentions, you can dream and work with your dreams. So it's a very potent creative card, and very often when you get the moon, you are encouraged to work with your dreams, to play with color and maybe art, and do some kind of artistic expression. And this is from the Tarot of the Master. This is Diana, or Artemis, and she's got her bow, and there's the dog, and the little crustacean is over here. And this is the empowered moon goddess. She walks bare feet, she's in tune with nature and with the rhythm of nature. And this is what got repressed. She's also in tune with her sexuality, in tune with her femininity. She's not afraid, she's not hiding her boobies, she's, all out there. And this is empowered. This is not to make anyone, admire her, or she's just natural. And with the moon card, very often for females, it's in nature, it's natural. This is the moon card from Margaret Peterson Tarot, and I would love to read you something, so I just stopped the camera for a sec. Okay, I'm back. So this is the Margaret Peterson moon, and I would like to read what she wrote in her booklet. A silent being groping its way from the ocean of unconsciousness to the mountains of knowing. Lady Moon, your light gently shows disentanglement, dissolution, liquefaction of illusory phenomena. The small mind, guardian of casual laws, steps back. Other realities expand. What once was suppressed as harmful and considered to be taboo is now allowed to come to the surface. Salty tears are transmuting into precious alchemistical essence. I love this booklet. So there you go. This is Margaret Peterson. Check out the depth of it and the artistic ability, how you hear the subconscious is aware. You've got like a Buddha image, but there's also, in the towers you can bind yourself to your delusions, or you can see them for what they are. I just love this. So this is amazing. And this is from the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. It's very cool. It's kind of like, he looks like Pan, like God Pan. He's playing on the flute, but I'm not sure if that's him. But there's the moon, there's a powerful female figure, and a howling wolf, which looks like it ate something recently. So that's just kind of the feminine power, which is felt in this one. And there is this gorgeous moon from the Voyager Tarot. So look how often we see the owls, wolves, or like fish connected to the moon. So it's this water, it's the tribe, so the caring energy of the wolves, but also the wildness of feminine, dark, repressed energy. And there's of course Luna and its cycles, so the cyclical nature, the strength of women that comes from the cyclical nature and knowing our bodies and how our cycles support us and can disempower us, but disempowering requires from us to stop and to rest, for example, during our periods. So this is exciting, beautiful one. And there's another side to the moon, which comes from the Aura-Soma Tarot, and this is healing. Very often, this withdrawal and the night and peace helps you to heal. So the moon here is represented by Archangel Raphael, and he is the angel of healing. There's the cycles of the moon, the full moon on top of his head, just shining all the light through. His chakras are lit up, and here in the new moon, when we're supposed to menstruate, you kind of connect to the earth through this blood, but it's all the rainbow colored kind of ray of light. So in the full moon, we're supposed to celebrate, have sex, enjoy, be fertile, and then with the waning energy, come to the new moon, and then we're supposed to release and die. So I think the moon card is beautiful. It's a little bit misunderstood. I think when we start to learn tarot, all they teach you is just the one side of the moon, the delusion, nothing will work out for you, and you just sit and go and die. And this is so much more to it. It's a magical card full of power, creativity, fertility, mother energy, also feminine, powerful family energy and grandmothers that stand behind us. But the warning with the moon is also to be aware and practice awareness, because the light is reflected. The light is not as clear as during the day, and often irrational fears can turn into reality very fast, and you can be caught, in the middle of it. From the dark moon, dark goddess tarot, Arianhort is the goddess of the moon, and there's the Welsh goddess, and the little quote says, "In the realm of the soul, the moon is your guide." So she is the goddess to inspire you to go within and connect to the moon and to the cycle, to the natural cycle, and to your own cycle, to recognize it. And when she appears, it's good to connect to moonstones and wear silver. Silver connects us to the moon. Often the reenactment of an old story is at hand. So the archetypes may be manifesting in your life or something in your own past that haunts you. Look with your night eyes, your soul vision, for a significant reinterpretation. And the situation involves deep forces and feelings, so there's this need to dive deep. It might not be just on the surface, it might be really kind of quite deep in the subconscious or even unconscious. Attune yourself to your own rhythms, very important. Listening to the intimate and innate knowledge of your physical being brings celestial wisdom into embodiment. Set your imagination free and roam, dream world and time and space. Bring back stories of power and magic. That's awesome. And get more sleep. Usually when the moon shows up, it can also show lower levels of energy or the need for you to go into a cocoon a little bit and stop going out so much, but preserve your energy, because maybe some important work or process is at work. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's a quite elusive card, hard to give it justice just with a few minutes of the video, but I'm curious. I want to see more about the moon because it's a gorgeous card and I think it's underrated and feared with blindness a little bit because the goddess was repressed. I think so. But now we are coming back, we are coming strong, and go moon. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.